Hello friends, how are you doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I just filmed an update on Ranger and I was gonna make that at the beginning, but it took longer than I thought because I just kind of told the whole story. So if you're interested in that, I'll just tack it on to the end. So let me just do it that way because everybody that watches this is not gonna be interested in that. So that makes more sense. All right, we're in my entry hall. We're gonna go ahead and clean in here. Mila's running through, we'll see. She probably won't stay long because I'm gonna start the vacuum. But let's talk about my tools. I have a lint-free dust cloth. Lint-free is very important. So a lot of times I'll see people complaining because the dust comes back so often, and it could be your vents need to be cleaned, you know, like your, we have window units, so we don't have that, but all your duct work could need to be cleaned, or you could just need like a HEPA filter or some sort of, you know, machine that cleans the air. You could need something like that running in your house, or you could need a lint-free cloth. I have literally worked for people who wanted me to use something like a sock, and I didn't want to use a sock. I wanted to use my own tools because that's usually how I work. But this one particular house, I was like, well, you know, I'll just use it. And they had a spray they wanted me to use too, which I'm not for that at all. I'm for this, just a cloth, just a lint-free cloth. But anyway, I did that at their house, and I noticed that their house was always very dusty when I went back, more dusty than everybody else's house. And it's because you need something like this. You can use a Swiffer duster. They're very good. Don't let anybody tell you a Swiffer duster doesn't work. Works great. A Swiffer duster, the Swiffer cloth, you can just hold it in your hand. You don't have to buy the dusters. They're very expensive. You can just get the Swiffer cloth that goes on the little duster thing that you dust around the floors. You can get that. You can fold it, hold it in your hand. It fits about like this. I love it because it fits in my hand. Or you can just use a lint-free cloth. Either way, that works. But those are the best tools, honestly. Best tools I've ever used. I've bought other stuff. I have not liked it. So those are my favorites. Obviously, use whatever you're going to use and love the most. You know, don't do what I do if that doesn't work for you. Also, I have these. This is my Libman spray and mop, and I just have soapy water in here. It's mostly water with just a little bit of dishwashing liquid. That's all it is. And then I've got this. This came from. They have them at Temu, but I think I got mine from a different site, but same thing. So a long time ago I got these. I think I might have some new ones from Temu, but anyway, they're all the same. And you just stick it on the bottom of here. It's like this, and it's just sticky. You stick that on the bottom, and you mop. You spray and you mop. I like this because I can use my own cleaner. I don't like to use harsh cleaners very often. I mean, I use some, but not, you know. So that's why it's just dishwashing liquid. And I know it's got chemicals, I get it, but it's not as harsh. And then if I have time, I don't know that I will, but one of the things I like to do, I want to do more of a deep cleaning in here because this room it's just one room and it's not very big. This is also a Libman. If you don't know what I'm saying, there's the Libman name right there. Libman, and this is just a dust mop. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to dust mop the floor, I'm going to vacuum the floor, but I'm going to do this on the walls. And this is really long. So these are 12-foot ceilings, so I don't know that I'll get all the way up there, but it'll help me get a good long way up. So, and then I've got my vacuum cleaner. This is a Shark Rocket. I think this is a Rocket. Yeah, this is a Rocket. And I like Shark Rockets. This is just a handheld. It does have a cord. And I think I am just going to vacuum first. So I'm going to pull you down so you can see me vacuuming. I'm going to. All right, there's a glare on the floor from the window. It looks weird on the camera. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and vacuum. that wasn't too bad. What's really bad is the dust because I run my robot through here a lot. So let's just focus in right here. I've really simplified in here. I've really simplified most of the rooms at this point. So it doesn't take long. Although you would think I would do it more right if it doesn't take long, but it really doesn't take long. But I'm not been keeping up with it like I should. So I only just have a couple of pictures and this little piano lamp. A couple of pine cones. I love natural things. I love pine cones. They're so pretty. This is my brother's piano book. I've talked about this before. My brother passed away. It was over 20 years ago now. And so I don't really have a lot of his stuff, but I just kept this piano book. It's just small. And we all play piano, so it's kind of neat to have that of his. And then this vase really needs a different home, and it's one of those things. I love this vase, but it's just kind of been bebopping around here, so I need to find a place that's better, but right now I'm just putting it right back where it was. So and these seeds I need to plant. I don't even know why they're in here. I think I was decluttering and I found them and I just stuck them there. Okay, so further, yeah, you can see down here. Further down here, there's a little area that needs to be dusted. If you really want to go all in, you can dust the sides and all this. I don't know that we want to go all in right this second, but although it needs it, I'm sure. Okay, so that's pretty good. And this was my mom's piano, so everybody talks about having memory boxes and things of that nature. My memory pieces are usually too big to go in a box. Okay, let's move you around. Here we go. Okay, so here's my book collection. I've gotten rid of most of my books. I have these here. I have a few more, but these are the ones that stood out and are sort of just a little not decorative, but they're kind of out as decoration. I do collect turtles, or I did, so I still have a few of my turtles that I love. I didn't keep a lot, but I did keep some. I think this is just old glass from one of my grandmothers. Really pretty. It's green. It's kind of hard to see in here. But the room is green. I think it looks pretty in here, but it is hard to see. And then we used to have a pug, and so I've got little pug memorabilia here. Just a few items. And then this box, this is an old box that has silverware in it. My mom gave me this box and the silverware that's in it, so it just sits here. Just, another sort of a sentimental item of mine. I do just like to display my sentimental stuff. I don't really want to stick it off in a box somewhere, so all this is kind of sentimental stuff that's in here. Now, I'm not going to open this, and maybe we can open it and look at it, but I'm not going to dust this right now. Actually, it doesn't look that bad. I must have dusted it with the last year, so it doesn't look terrible. If you really wanted to get into it, you could dust all of this. It has a lot of stuff, so I don't really want to move it, but you can also just dust these doors, the insides of these doors. I think I will do that because that's not going to take me long. Okay. And then, of course, this part, I don't know if you can see that yet, just where the drawers come out. My drawers are not as full as they used to be. Pull this down just a tad bit more. So I do still have a few little placemats and things in here. These are placemats and old tablecloths, and that's all that's in there. So it's not as full as it used to be. I really tried to pare things down. I will say the bottom of this cabinet's pretty full. It's got a lot of china in it. And then I have this little antique I used to have something sitting on it, and I don't have anything on it right now. It's just sitting here, probably look cuter next to a chair, but anyway, it is what it is at this point. I could also dust this, can't see it right here, this chair rail right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And of course it just goes all the way around. Okay, so let's look at this. There's another little cabinet right here. It's hard to get the whole thing in the picture, but anyway, you get the idea. And then of course you could open this up and dust all these individually. A lot of times I just don't do this very often because most of the dust stays off of it. It doesn't look super dusty, so I'm gonna leave it alone for today. I can also get down here and dust the baseboards while I'm in here. Okay, now, so there's only a couple more pieces of furniture in here. The old Victrola. Let's see, yeah, you can see them both. Okay, so the old Victrola, we have the cat food up here. We feed these porch cats, so that's this cat food, and then this bowl right here. And then there's some extra, you see a canister like this on the floor, that's what that is. But again, trying to keep it very, very simple in here, and only a few items, only a few decor pieces. So this is an old family Victrola of Spencer's family. So we've had this a long time. The cat stuff doesn't really match very well, but that's okay. Then we have a picture of Spencer and me. I don't know what this is. Need to ask. Oh, I know. It broke off something. I don't need to ask. That has to do with me. I'm gonna throw this away. Maybe if I put it there, I'll remember to throw it away. I bought something from Dollar Tree and that broke off immediately. So I'm still using it, but that piece of it broke off. And I'm not sure what this is. Piece of wood, I think came off of there. Okay, so if you wanted to clean all the way down, you could. The chair rail. All the way down. Now it is on these little slider things, so if I need to slide it away from the wall, I could. One of them always, the D-bot always pushes it, the robot always pushes it out, so one of them's not under there right now. And then so then we can dust these windows right here. Now one thing I could have done that I didn't bring in here was my Flylady cloths. I could have wiped all these little windows. There's also windows up here that you can't see in the frame. And of course these windows over here. I'm not gonna worry about that today. I'm just gonna dust it. I'm gonna dust this right here. I would have to have a ladder to get up there, but I could dust up there. There's a ledge up there that definitely needs to be dusted. So I could do that. That could be part of my cleaning in here today. Or I could skip it, which is what's probably what's gonna happen right here. This has a bunch of cat hair stuck to it, so I'm gonna just try to get that off. This is really dark, so it's hard to see, but I've got shells with turtle stuff in it, so it's 3 different shells here. And then right here I have a few turtles as well. So I do still have a small turtle collection. It's just not as big as it used to be. Stuck to everything right here, and probably some cobwebs. It's probably not just cat hair, probably cobwebs. So I'm just going to pull that off while I'm down here. Get to the baseboards while I'm down here. And the chair rail. There's a picture right here, but I can't reach all the way without a ladder, so I'm just going to reach up here to the part that I can get. I feel like there's a spider web right here. That's okay. Okay, so I've dusted all the furniture. This is, again, just a wide open spaces room. So I've dusted the furniture. I'm gonna go ahead and dust the walls with my mop that I mentioned. So let me raise this up because you're not gonna be able to see that. Ranger's sound asleep. The Benadryl is really helping. So normally he can't take Benadryl because it counteracts his anxiety meds, but right now he's just so sick that I'm just, whatever works. Whatever works. If it counteracts his med, it counteracts it, and I'll just deal with it when it, you know, at some point it's gonna end and we can just go back to normal. Okay, so you can see me right here, I think. So I can go all the way up to this door, which of course is off, but there's a door right there. Let's just try to stay in where you can see, so you can see what I'm doing. So it's really quick. You don't spend a lot of time with this. Now, I don't use this mop on the floor. You could, but when I bought this, I only wanted it for walls, so that's the only thing I use it for. So I'm not having to worry about it being super duper dirty. And, you know, obviously if you wash it, it's going to be clean, but I'm just not having to worry about all that. So I can get it almost all the way up there without being on a ladder, which is really convenient because I'm only 5'2", so this is really, you see how well this is working for me. And we can go all the way down. And, you know, this would be pretty effective against these, you can't see it because it's too far down, but this would be pretty effective also against the stuff at the bottom. What is it called? You know, I could also, I'm not going to because it's really dirty up here, but I could also run across that ridge right there, which is where a bunch of dead bugs sit. But what I could do, because this isn't super dirty, I just don't want to get it that dirty. I would rather get up there with my cloth and do that. But this right here, I can clean, and I see a spider web right there in front of my face. Okay. So there's a spider web from somewhere right here, and I don't want to break this stuff. So I'm on my tippy toes, as you can see, I'm getting pretty far up there. I think you can see, I hope you can see. Then we've got the sensor for our alarm. We're going to run that. We've got this church across from us, and these people, it is like 100 degrees outside, and these people are working out there. I don't know how they stand it. It's warm enough in here. Okay, can you see this wall right here? Okay, good. So I'll just do this part right here. And then you get the idea. I won't do the rest of it because it's just, you know, it takes a lot of time. But you get the idea what I'm doing here. Just wiping the dust off the walls, getting the cobwebs off, hopefully. Okay, I know you can't see right there. Do this part right here while I'm over here. Whoops, the handle's in the way. The baseboards was what I was trying to say. You can clean the baseboards with this as well if you needed to, if you wanted to. Alright, but you can see that works pretty fast. It's not an all-day thing. Just do one room at a time and get this done. And I don't do this every time I clean. I do this, you know what, a couple times a year maybe. Uh-oh, this is the thing about it I don't like. I'm not sure, I hope they fix this brand. You can see how that just popped off of there? And then it does this all the time. So I have to fit it back down in there. See, it's supposed to lock. It's supposed to lock, but I think it just got popped. This little lock right here, I think it just got popped open. Okay, so it doesn't really look dirty. I'm not sure still that I got this. I'm not really sure what this web was attached to. I see a web right here. Let me get that right there. I definitely don't want to break this. It's not actually a vase, it's that's part of my china set right there. That right there, so I don't want to break that. I mean, I know this stuff's not worth anything anymore because nobody wants it, but I'll still like it. Okay, so the only thing left is to mop. So let me move you back and I'm going to open. Okay, so I did put the little mop pad on. I'm just going to go ahead and mop. You just pull this right here and squirt. It squirts It's just like a Swiffer mop, really. Except you're not having to pay all their expensive prices. Okay, now the thing I need to do is mop my way out this way. So I always want to think about when you're mopping, and I almost didn't do that. So really what I want to do is mop this way out, because here's my camera and I'm going to turn it off. So let's start over here. Now I don't mop my hardwood very often at all. I'm mopping it now because I wanted to kind of do a deep clean of this room, but this is something I do not do very often. So if you mop yours all the time, that's fine. We're all different. Mine really, even with pets running through, mine really don't get that dirty. So I don't mop them very often, but the other day I did them in the den, did the ones in the den. Ranger had been sick in there, and I just thought I would just go ahead. That would be a good time to just do a deeper clean in there. But yeah, I don't usually mop them. I think they look fine. If they have spots on them, I can just bend down and wipe it up. I'm just not super picky about it. I'm not eating off the floors, so I'm not that worried about it. And I don't want to ruin the finish that's on here. This is polyurethane, but I just, you know, I don't know. The way I grew up, we just didn't mop our hardwood floors all the time. But I work for people who want theirs mopped all the time, so I do theirs the way they want theirs done. So you do yours the way that you want yours done. And I know some of you may have the vinyl, the luxury, what do they call it? Luxury vinyl planking. Some of you have that. And you have mops that you prefer to use on your luxury vinyl as well. I like this for that as well. This doesn't stay wet for very long. I don't think it will ruin it. I know my friend told me that her instructions said not to use one of these. So definitely look at your instructions. But for me, I've used to spray them off on people's vinyl, laminate, whatever it is, for years and years, and haven't had any problems. So, but you gotta do what's right for you, obviously. All right, here I got most of it. I can really, the sun angle changed. I can't really see for sure, but yeah, I got most of it. All right, so you see how I've mopped my way out of the room. There's one little thing on this floor I want to move out of here because it's one little piece of fuzz or something I want to get off the floor. All right, so there you go. I've done the mopping. The only thing I really need to finish is just the baseboards. I think I did just about everything but all the baseboards. All right. I'm breathing heavy. Breathing heavy. All right, 21 minutes of work, that's not bad. And so here's the other picture above the piano. That's what you're seeing right there with all the reflection of the light in it. Anyway, thanks so much for being with me. Again, stay tuned for the next just like 5 or 6 minutes, and I'll talk about what happened to Ranger, why he had surgery, what was the big deal, what was the diagnosis. If you want to know, stay tuned. And thanks for being here for the cleaning video, and I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye. Hello, Simplifiers. How are you doing? Have a little update on Ranger just really quick, and then we're going to do some cleaning. We're in my entry hall. That's what this is. Look at me, precious. Okay, real quick update. In the last video, if you missed it, I mentioned he had a very, very serious surgery coming up the next day. And so he has this, I don't know if I can move him this way. Come here. So underneath here, under in his stomach, so this way, he has a huge incision, just really long incision. He has staples, and he had 2 masses removed off his liver, and he also had his gallbladder removed. So this all started, I took him to have his regular blood work done. I actually took him a few months early because he had a couple of moles. It turned out they were moles, not cancer, on his skin, and I wanted those looked at. So I have a friend whose dog actually has cancer on his skin. His cancer is on his skin. And she said to me in January, or December, I think it was early January, she said, "You've got to get this looked at." And I was like, yeah. Which I did know I need to have it looked at. That wasn't the first, I knew it was something that needed to be looked at. So I took him early for his blood work. I had that looked at. Nothing, it's just moles. I'm like, okay, that's great. But I really want his teeth cleaned. Okay, well, let's, see what the blood work says. His blood work came back not right, and it came back, I didn't know there was a gallbladder number. There's a gallbladder number. His gallbladder was not right. So what ended up happening, we waited a month. We used some liver supplements. A liver supplement is called Denamarin. If you've never used it, or hopefully you've never had to deal with it. It didn't really, like some days he seemed like he was better and some days not, but I mean, he wasn't having that many issues to begin with. So I wasn't sure, was it helping, was it not? I didn't know. He was doing this little hawking thing. If you saw the video, you heard him going hawk, 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 trying to get something out. That's really all he was doing. The only thing I noticed he was doing. So anyway, when I took him back, his numbers were worse. They had not got, the supplement did not help. The numbers were worse. So he went ahead and did an ultrasound, and he found a mass on his liver, but when he went in, it turned out it was 2 masses. And he also looked at his gallbladder. He was actually in there looking at his gallbladder on the ultrasound, and he said, there's some sediment, it's kind of iffy. He said, I may have to remove it. We'll see when we get in there. He said, I'm gonna do exploratory surgery. By the way, there was something about the way he said liver mass that I think that's scary anyway, but that kind of clued me in, that this was probably cancer. So, but he never said that. But he said it could be. He said it could be cancer. He didn't say it definitely is, or I think it is, or he didn't say that. And he gave me my options. He's like, we can wait. I'm like, wait on what? Because he's doing all this hawking. And by the time I did the video last week, he was just like hawking. I mean, by then, even if I thought I was waiting, I was not waiting because I was tired of it. I was just, there's no reason to keep doing that. So anyway, he went in there on Monday morning. He did the surgery, removed the 2 masses, and also removed his gallbladder because he thought it looked iffy. He wasn't really sure, but he just thought it was iffy enough. And I'm glad he did, because I'm not sure if it's the liver making him do the hawking thing, or if it was his gallbladder, or all of it, combined. So anyway, on Thursday night, he called me, and I was like, oh no, because I knew he would call me about the path results. So the pathology was in, and it was cancer. But the good news is it was contained. It was all, there's 7 lobes of the liver. It was all contained in the same lobe. It's called, I think it's in lobe 1. It's called primary liver cancer. Just to let you know, if you ever have liver cancer, that's the one you want. He said this is the best case scenario. It's contained. Thank the Lord. He got clear margins, so we don't have to go back in. Thank you, Lord, because this has been bad enough. The surgery was not that bad. He says it's a very hard surgery, and I'm sure it is, and the incision is big and all that. That has not bothered him at all. He is very, very nauseated, just very sick. The very next day, so Tuesday morning, had to take him back in to get a nausea shot because he just would not eat, and he vomited several times. So it wasn't horrible. He wasn't dehydrated, so that's the good news. He was, he looks pitiful. He's not dehydrated, but things have progressed, and now we're back to the nausea is back. Yesterday it started up again, so I'm like, when's this going to end? So he's like, he's got to get the bile out of his system. It's just going to take a while. He's got to get the bile out. The only thing that concerns me is, I think we've all heard of people or read about people who had gallbladder taken out, and they've had gallbladder issues the rest of their life. And I'm like, is this going to be the way it's going to be the rest of his life? But I am kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel as far as some of it. The nausea is still going on, but there's some other stomach issues that are starting to get better. So I just won't bore you with the whole thing because this has gone on for 5 minutes. But I'm sorry if you came here for cleaning. I wanted to just update you first because you guys' comments were so sweet. Really appreciate you thinking of us and praying for us. It's been a very stressful week, even just like I pretty much knew it was cancer, but just, the waiting, and then the nausea that's going on all week, and then having to go to work and leave him here by himself. Spencer's got a camera on him, and he watches him at work, and it's just like, but I'm at work trying to work, so I'm not the one watching him, and I'm just like, let me just hurry up and get this done so I can get home. So anyway, this next week is for the same issue because we're still having this nausea issue. So I think if he wasn't sick, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but just the fact that the nausea is continuing on and on and on, kind of thought it would be over by now, but it is not. And actually the vet was surprised he had all this nausea. He said this isn't quite normal, but I feel like, I don't know, I don't see why it wouldn't be normal. I feel like any surgery you could be nauseated. I mean, I get nauseated with anesthesia. This I don't think is anesthesia because he's never had anesthesia nausea before, so I don't think it's that. I think it's just the gallbladder, the liver, trying to get the bile out. I'm gonna go ahead and he said hello. He's a little bit groggy. I gave him, I'm trying different things. So what I'm trying today is Benadryl. He told me that really could help nausea. So I'm like, let's try it, because nothing else I'm using right now is working, and I can't get into a vet right now to get a shot because it's a Sunday. So we're just gonna see if the Benadryl works. And so far it's working. So it's been about an hour and a half.